believe in freedom, you better start listening to TNS Radio. This is Rick Simpson, and thank you for listening.
Stay tuned to tnsradio.com. My name is Albert Burgess.
This is Nassim Hermain, and you're listening to TNS Radio, the radio of our future.
Good evening, TNS listeners. Welcome to Steve, aka Mr. C's curative thoughts for the next couple of hours. It's what is it? Of course, it's 9th of February 2011, Wednesday, 1 minute past 9 p.m. It's also Chinese New Year, the year of the rabbit. Kung Hei Fa Choi. Hoping that's Happy New Year in Chinese. And welcome back. Right, tonight I'd like to discuss about half a dozen different subjects at the same time here, but getting through them chronologically. Actually, no, first of all, let me just say something else on the tip of my tongue. I'd like to give a big thank you to everyone who's been very kind with their words of encouragement and support in my venture onto TNS Radio. I've had words of support from every one of the TNS hosts and a lot of you guys from the chat box, and I can tell you it does mean a lot. It gives me that little bit of extra confidence to come on here and share some of my hopefully curative thoughts with you guys. Just to give you a brief outline of what I'll be covering, I'm going to link up with where Ponman left off yesterday with some of the plants he mentioned that can be found quite readily in our countries and made use of in a number of ways, not least homeopathically, which I'll be tying in with in just a moment. Also, a very interesting story I heard recently regarding Ireland, and I'll be sharing those thoughts with you. And a little bit of a controversial subject. We're going to dip a little bit into an old story regarding the use of hashish, obviously scientifically, of course. Anyway, back to the link up with Ripples from the Pond. One of the remedies I advised people to avail themselves of, even if it's from the shelves of Boots the chemist, who, as far as I'm aware, still sell the homeopathic remedies there, was arnica. And indeed, Pondman touched on arnica during his Ripples from the Pond broadcast last night, and I'd just like to run through some of the specific symptoms arnica can be used to treat in its homeopathic form. And this in your case, if you were buying it off the shelf, would be probably a 30C potency in a little blue or green plastic popper bottle that dispenses little pilules coated with the remedy. Arnica, the plant itself, if you're able to identify it, and hopefully sometime in the near future we'll maybe be able to link some pictures in for you through TNS TV. We'll be able to, or Pondman rather, would be able to show you specifically the image that you'd be looking for to go gathering this stuff. But this is arnica used topically, externally. One thing to bear in mind with arnica, if you're turning into a cream or an oil or something, or even in its raw form, you should never apply arnica to open wounds, cuts or grazes. So basically, any broken skin you don't want to be putting arnica onto. Um, Bed sores, the external application of arnica is extremely useful for, as is virtually all types of bruises. This is the external application here I'm talking about, and with the addition of the internal application of the homeopathic remedy itself, the whole healing process, and this is your natural healing process we're talking about here, it enhances the body's ability to look after itself. Taking an internal and external remedy at the same time really does speed up the healing process. It can be used in the form of an ointment for corns 2 or 3 times a day for relief. For sore muscles, rubbing the ointment or oil straight onto your sore or bruised muscles, especially after a hard day's gardening. The first stage of strains and sprains, and wasp stings. So an everyday remedy there, aside from the the accident and injuries that do tend to occur, and I can assure you guys, speaking from first-hand knowledge here, having that remedy on hand is peace of mind, especially if you've got young children or any clumsy member of your family, really. Absolutely first-rate remedy. Now, another one of the plants Pondman covered was calendula, and calendula, interestingly enough, applied topically, has been compared with superglue. It doesn't work quite as fast as the actual superglue, but it will knit the skin back together in a matter of hours, and that's a very important medicinal use. Burns or scalds. Again, here I'm just talking about the external application of the plant, but burns or scalds, second degree, can be used to relax the perineum during childbirth, and afterwards cracked nipples, cuts or wounds, eczema, rashes. Can be used as an ordinary hand cream. Again, after gardening, if you've been fighting with a prickly bush or something and your hands are all grazed and scratched, calendula hand cream will sort that out. It can be used as a mouthwash, especially after you've had a strenuous visit to the dentist, shall we say. Nappy rash for your infants, and sunburn. Again, these are just the topical applications. These remedies are also available for internal use, and if the occasion was serious enough, both internal and external applications, as I say, will greatly speed up the healing process. Now, to my mind, these things are all well worth knowing, but I appreciate if you're living in the middle of a city that your first thoughts might be that, well, where the heck am I going to come across arnica or calendula or whatever? Well, one of the things that Dave's been telling us during his broadcasts is how to plant various flowers and vegetables and other forms of organic sustenance, and we've actually got our heads together recently and have decided that probably with the technical knowledge of our Vincent, tie our shows together somewhat, at least in regards to the medicinal uses of some of the plants that Pondman will be making us aware of. I don't know if you guys caught the BBC series, what was it called? Something about drugs. No, the name escapes me for the time being, but that series basically showed you a lot of medicinal uses for a lot of the plants you can find growing wild, and surprisingly a lot of the more exotic seeming plants are easily grown in the UK. So some of the more exotic homeopathic remedies, because as time goes on, what I'm looking to do is give everyone a basic but start to finish understanding of the way that you convert a substance into a homeopathic remedy. It's probably worthwhile making a distinction for everyone that's not familiar with homeopathy in regards to its difference from herbalism. Herbalism is an extremely useful practice to adopt, and out of all the therapies you can choose to make yourself aware of or study, you'll find that herbalism is one of the lengthiest ones. You know, if you think about it, pick up any book on plants, you'll see how thick that book is. And to be a herbalist, not only do you need to make yourself aware of all the thousands of medicinal uses of thousands of plants, you're also expected to prove your own findings as well. So it's a lifelong therapy, for want of a better word, but extremely useful. However, it differs in essence to homeopathy, because we're not using, as you are in herbalism, the plant itself in its raw form, as it were, and making a concoction directly from it. It certainly is a valuable thing to do, and it's probably one of the fastest ways of converting a fresh organic substance into a ready to take medicine. But homeopathy works on a different principle, and as the shows go on, I'm hoping to make you more aware of it. But it's not herbalism. I think that's the point I'm trying to make here. What was the other plant? Hypericum. Hypericum. It goes hand in hand with calendula, actually. Hypericum. In fact, you can buy, if anyone is going to go into Boots, check out the creams, the homeopathic creams there as well. Hypercal is a very popular cream. We have it all the time here. Whenever we're running low, I make sure and get another bottle or tube or whatever in. And I do admonish myself at times for not making the extra effort and preparing it myself, but thanks to Pomman's other half, some would say better half, who am I to argue, she actually thought it would be a good idea that we talk you through the whole process of converting a plant into, say, a cream or an oil, and that's what we intend to do over our next few shows. But what plant did I say? We were Hypericum. Yeah. It soothes and heals wounds, especially where the nerves have been injured and there's a lot of pain. The keynote of the Hypericum injury would be shooting pains, severe shooting pains. The external application of Hypericum can also be used for boils. Again, second degree burns with blistering. For cuts and wounds, it's one of the best solutions to use for cleaning the wound out. You know, again, this is where the calendula would come in, and why it's often combined together. The Hypericum cleans and soothes, and the calendula repairs the damage. And I've had cause to use it myself a few years back. I cut deeply into the side of my thumb